Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. We have been studying this Shankar's commentary on the last sutra of Badarayana Shariraka Mimamsa, normally called Chatussutri of the Brahma-Sutras, and we are almost toward the end. The topic was that Vidhi Chaya, that means that Atma Vayare Drashtavya, Shrutavyo, Mantavyo, Nidhi Jasitavya, Evamare Drashtavya. You have to know Atman. Why these are appearing like some mandate for action. So he built up the theory that no action can reach there. And though action cannot reach there, and the man who knows Brahman, for him the body does not exist. Just as the snake throws away its outside skin, just like that, and that lies outside. Similarly, in man's case, the body is there, but he is not aware of the body. And that is the only nature of Brahman, that is the real nature of man, and that is freedom. And it has been described in the Vedantas that we read last sentence, Sa chakshu achakshu iva, sa karna akarna iva, sa vak avak iva, sa mana amana iva, sa prana aprana iva iti cha. That though he appears to have eyes, he is not aware of his eyes. Though he appears to have ears, he is without ears. Though he appears to have vani, he is without speech. Though he appears to have mind, he is without mind. Though he appears to be living with pranas, he is without pranas. Now the same thing he is telling from Gita. Smriti apicha. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha iti adya. This is shloka 54 of the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is asking, what is the definition of a Sthita Prajna? What are his characteristics? How does he talk? How does he walk? And to that, Bhagavan has replied in 18 shlokas. And the summary of the 18 shlokas is presented by Shankaracharya here. Iti adya Sthita Prajna Lakshanani, the characteristics of the Sthita Prajna, Achakshana, while trying to describe the characteristics of the Sthita Prajna, Vidusha, about the man of realization, Sarva Pravrutti Asambandhan Darshayati. No tendency for action of any type is seen in him. That is what the Lord has declared. So, Tasmat na avagata Brahma Atma Bhavasya yatha purvam sansaritam. There was a point that even after hearing, we see the same signs of worldliness in him. To that the reply was, it is not about hearing, but it is knowing with the help of hearing. So that is called avagata Brahma. If a man has realized Brahma, if a man knows Brahma Atma Bhav, if a man knows that the all-pervading transcendent reality is his own reality, if this is known, if this is experienced, if this is realized, then na yatha purvam sansaritam. He no longer can remain as the old transmigrating soul. Yeah, and that is confirmed from both sides. Yasyatu yatha purvam sansaritam na aso avagata brahmatma bhava iti anavadyam. So he has heard, but he has heard without being fit for that. He has heard without that reaching his experience. He has heard, but it has not changed his anubhav. So, if we see the old characteristics of a transmigratory soul in him, then it is very clear that he has not known Brahman. So, this is about hearing. You see, some people are taking the meaning to be reversed. We have seen repeated, especially Shankar's disciple Padmapad, that hearing produces the knowledge, or the pre-existing knowledge is awakened by hearing. That we know. People have changed it into telling, if you hear, it is knowledge. Corollary is not true, please. And that is the point being discussed here. If somebody says, without the aparoksha anubhav, you get knowledge, people do say that there is nothing called meditation, nothing called samadhi, nothing called special experience. Just you listen and you know, you become a Vedanti. That is the exact opposite distortion of the fact that if you really hear, you know. If you really hear, I have described to you 2-3 times that the hearing should not be by ears. Hearing should not be by the brain. Hearing should be by the heart. That is the only organ of experience. And so, if it is heard by heart, if it has been engraved on the heart, if you take to writing, it is engraved on the heart, then that is realization. And then he says, this is clear. Now the next point is, Yat puna uktam shravanat parachinayo manana nididhyasanayo darshanat vidisheshatam brahmana na swarupa parevasaitam iti. The next objection is Shrotavyo, Mantavyo, Nididhyasitavyo. So is that not a mandate? Hearing is not a mandate. By hearing is equivalent to knowing. It is not doing something. But after hearing, it is said that you have to think and you have to meditate. Is that not a mandate for work? He says, no. Hearing, thinking, meditating are not separate. All there, the meaning should be taken knowing. Yat puna uktam shravanat parachinev manana nidhyasanev darshanat. Because we see that there is the mandate like that after hearing you have to think and you have to meditate. Vidisheshatvam brahmana. So Brahman becomes a part of mandate for work. Na swarupa parevasaitam. It does not automatically change into the realization of Brahman. Iti. No, that is not correct. Shravanavat avagati arthatvat manana nididhyasanayo. The meaning of Shravana is knowledge. Similarly, the meaning of manana and nididhyasana is knowledge. So, we'll go back and try to think. We know by hearing. Our thinking has been vitiated for how many births together we do not know. Because our thinking has been based upon our wrong knowledge. And so, we have to change that thinking. That also does not mean we have to do something. We have to give up the old type of thinking. Automatically, the real thinking should rise. automatically our thinking should be in correspondence with the truth heard from the Guru and the scriptures. And there are bhoga sanskaras in the depth. To remove that, meditation is necessary. Meditation takes our hearing deeper and removes the old bhoga sanskara. The example is given by of Shankaracharya himself. He had read Tattvamasi in the Vedas, but he came to Govindapad, and Govindapad uttered Tattvamasi, and Shankar realized he did not have to think or meditate because that was already gone in his life. His mind was pure. So, we have our own example of Swami Adbhutananda. He did not know reading or writing, so no intellectual process at all. He heard from Sri Ramakrishna, and because his heart was pure and he had 100% faith in the Guru, so as he heard, he knew. So that is what happened. So this thinking and meditating also is not something action. It is also, meaning is knowing. That means all three become one. Shravan, Manan, Nidhasan, all three become one and turn into knowledge. So that Vidisheshatvam is removed from hearing because that is the nature of truth. And if truth is rightly heard, it results into knowledge. So the whole thing comes upon the fitness of man. And that is why that Atha described, Atha in the first sutra, that certain things must be in the life. The course of life must have been changed. Otherwise, this hearing is of no help. I remember one sabha, I'll tell you. I think I'll describe one sabha. The Shankara Matham in Sringeri has an, we will say, office or some society in Trichy. And there, both the senior and junior Shankaracharyas were invited. And I was sent by the Coimbatore Mahanta because they had come to invite him. And there are 3-4 speakers. And the main speaker was from this school of thought, which I told you just now. And I spoke first. And in my speaking, I told about this Avagati Paryantam Jnanam and Anubhava Avasanatvat Bhutavastu Vishayatvatcha Brahma Jnanasya. The very nature of Brahma Jnana is such that it is about a thing already existing and known, but that should be changed into experience. That is Brahma Jnana. When that man spoke, he said, according to Vivek Chodamani, you have to understand. And no need of, we should not expect any mystic experience. Then I told, when some other lecture was going on, other speaker, I told the person who was anchoring the meeting, I must talk again. I insisted so much that he had to allow me to talk again. And when I started talking again, at that point, both the Shankaracharyas came to attend the meeting. And I told, Viveka Chodamani you are telling, but Viveka Chodamani has 108 shlokas on meditation, on samadhi, on aparoksha anubhav. And the main shloka is that Na gacchati vina panam vyadir aushadha shabdata vina aparoksha anubhavam brahma shabdair namuchyate. And there is an excellent commentary by Udasi Baba. And the Udasi Baba says that some people standing at the foot of a tall tree, and there are fruits on the height of the tree, and below there is a pond. And there is a reflection of the tree and the fruits in the pond. And seeing that reflection, they are congratulating themselves that we have eaten the fruits. This is the nature of those who, without getting the experience, by some intellectual understanding, think that they are realized. And then I said that the translation of Vivekananda was wrong. Word is Veda, not understanding, knowing. Now, the junior Shankaracharya said after my lecture, the man conducting summarized in his own way. But after that, the junior Shankaracharya said that this point I am telling. People approach Vedanta without adhikar, and that is why they do not understand. People approach Vedanta without adhikar, and that is why they do not understand. The senior Shankaracharya spoke after that, because there is no keenness of desire, because the desire to know Brahman is not so keen, so they do not understand. So I am quoting both of them to tell you that if that is there, the hearing results into knowledge. And if some obstruction remains, that is removed by thinking and meditating. So all these three Shankaracharya tells here mean knowledge, not hearing, not thinking, not meditating. All three are used for knowledge. And this avagati is used in the very definition of jigyasa. In the very definition of jigyasa, Shankara said that desire which does not stop till we get avagati paryantam jnanam, till we realize the nature of Brahman in full, till we really know Brahman, till we experience Brahman, till we realize Brahman, the desire does not stop. That is called jigyasa. So that avagati word has come here again. And that by hearing we do not mean hearing, by hearing we mean knowing fully, realizing. Similarly, by manan and nididhasan, we do not mean any action done with I am the doer. That is the point. I am not the doer there. The hearing is creating a revolution in me because I have heard rightly. So it is creating a revolution in me. And my old thinking has been thrown out. And my old bhoga sanskaras have been thrown out. And I am getting the knowledge. I am getting the knowledge by hearing, thinking and meditating, not by I am doing something with my eye consciousness, but in the fit heart, it is being heard. And that hearing has revolutionized my personality. And it has thrown out my old thinking. It has totally revised my old thinking. And it has dug out all my old bhoga sanskara, that hearing itself. According to my Guruji's words, I already told you. Mind is not the instrument of God realization. Buddhi is not the instrument of God realization. Ego is not the instrument of God realization. Chitta is not the instrument of God realization. So God himself is the instrument of God realization. Because my real nature of God, so it is manifesting itself. What is doing there? Another thing is that this is what comes out as unfoldment. And that second sentence was put of my Guruji. Brahma Gyan is such that Bhuta Vastu Vishayatvat Anubhava Avasanatvat Brahma Vigyanasya. The very nature of Brahma Gyan is such that it is about a thing existing, theoretically known, but it has to be transformed into experience. So that is what Shankara said here, that hearing results into experience if done by a fit person. Otherwise, again and again here, so that the fitness also becomes developed. You must do karma to purify yourself. Shankara has very clearly pointed out. And unless you are purified by karma, you are not fit enough at all. You must do upasana to make your mind sharp. Unless you do upasana, there is no concentration of the mind. And such people only are fit, who have purified themselves by karma, who have made their mind ingoing and concentrated by upasana. Such persons only are fit for listening to Vedanta. And such persons, when they listen to Vedanta, that results into aparoksha anubhav, that results into immediate knowledge. And whatever remnant is there, that is removed by thinking and meditation. So, then avagati arthatvat manana nididhyasanayoho. Now, other than thinking and meditation, what thinking does? In my Guruji's words, the thought world is changed, the idea world is changed. And then he starts giving the real experience. Yadi avagatam brahma anyatra viniyujyata bhavet tada vidisheshatvam natu tat asti manana nididhyasanayopi shravanavat avagati arthatvat. He has repeated. Suppose you are known Brahman, and again you are being engaged in some work. A man who is known Brahman, and to him the Vedas say you must do this. Then we could have accepted that it is an action as a part there. That Brahmagyan is a part of action. We could have accepted if the man of knowledge was told that you must do this thing or that thing. Let us refer to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Kahol Samvad. Kahol asked him, Yagyavalkya in Janaka's Yagya Sabha, Ushastha asked him and Kahol asked him. Ushastha asked him, what is Brahman? And he said, what is that Brahman, which is aparoksha and which is sarvatma? Yagyavalkya said, it is the transcendent reality. He was satisfied. But then Kahol came and asked the same question. Please tell me about that Brahman, which is aparoksha and which is sarvanta. Yagyavalkya understood he wants to know what happens by knowledge of Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman. So Yagyavalkya said, when you know, the first thing which happens is that your desires are smashed. And automatically you become a bhiksha jivi sannyasi. And as the knowledge becomes deeper, you become a pandit. That means Aham Brahmasmi is felt by you. And when the knowledge goes still deeper, you become strong like a child because your ahankar goes away. And when the knowledge goes still deeper, you become a mauni, given to meditation. And when that all these things are digested, you become a Brahmin. And the question is asked, what after that? To that the reply is given, as the Brahmin likes to live, he lives. Not like, as he lives, so he lives. There is no mandate on him any further. So all these are not actions. All this is knowledge going deeper and deeper. And when the knowledge goes deepest, you are Brahmagyan. So, natu tadasti. A man of knowledge has not been told by the Vedas to do something. Manana nidhisatane opi shravanavat avagati arthatvat. If he has been told to think and meditation, it is only to make the knowledge go deeper and deeper. So knowledge goes deeper and deeper. It is not I am doing something. Rather, all the layers of I are transcended. I of any level is thrown out. So there is no I to do something. Tasmat na pratipatti vidhi vishayataya shastra pramanakatvam. So the shastra is a praman, not as a part of mandate to do action which is called knowledge. Pratipatti vidhi. Knowledge being told as an action and mandate is given about that. It is not in that way. The Shastras are the means of knowledge. Brahmana Sambhavati, it is not possible at all. Iti ataha, therefore, Swatantram eva Brahma Shastra Pramanakatvam. So independently of any action, the Shastras are the means of knowledge. Vedanta Vakya Samanvayat iti Sittam. And there again, remember how to hear when two sentences of the Vedas are read in harmonious way, then that is knowledge. If you feel something in the Vedas is contradicting something you have not heard properly. So the definition of Vedanta is that every sentence tells you a relative value of certain thing, and then finally it leads to Brahmagyan. So that Samanvayat has been repeated here, that is the fourth sutra itself. Iti Siddham, he said, that is being established. Evam cha sati, and therefore, atha atha Brahma Jigyasa iti tad vishya pruthak shastra rambhupaddhate. Gemini has already told athato dharma mimamsa, and Vyasa thought that this does not give man the ultimate freedom or the ultimate purpose of life, fulfillment of life. So, now therefore, the desire to know Brahman, this type of separate section is necessary, and that is what is logical now. Pratipatti vidhi paratvehi atha atha dharma jigyasa ityeva arabdhatvat na pruthak shastram arabhyata. That is called Anvaya Vyatirek Nyaya. Because of this, it is separate. Had it been like that, it would not have been like that. If it was knowledge as an action, and that if was mandate, then Athata Dharma Jigyasa would have included that. Everything about right action has been described by Gemini. We are not quarreling with that. But the separate science would not have been necessary if that knowledge also would have been action. So everything about action has been done by Gemini. Na pruthak shastram arabhyata, it would to start another scripture. Arabhyamanam cha evam arabhyata. And even then, he is going deeper. Something. Then he would have written in such a way, Atha atha parishishta dharma jigyasa iti. Something remained to be told in that dharma jigyasa, so I am telling. So, a beautiful argument that suppose knowledge was an action and the mandate was about it, and he had written separately, he would have said that something remained in telling, so I am telling now. Itivat, like that. Atha atha kratvartha purusharthayo jigyasa itivat. In Karma Kanda itself, there is a separate section for section that something remained in the main topic. So, Gemini is telling now we shall tell something which remained. Something which remained is being told, Gemini said in 4th chapter. So similarly, Vyasa could have said something has still remained. Brahma Atma Ekya Avagati tu Apratigyata. Avagati, that Brahman is my Atman. Had it been known, the knowledge of Brahman as my real nature has nowhere been touched in that karma kanda. Realization of Brahman as my real nature has nowhere Gemini Shastra. Yukta Shastra Rapa. And so a separate scripture is necessary, not as a part of knowledge which is action, not as a part of any action, not as a part of upasana, not as a part of knowledge as action, but because that has not been touched at all there, so a separate scripture was necessary. Tasmat, aham brahmasmi iti etat avasana eva sarve vidaya sarvani cha itarani pramanani. Now there are vidaya, that means mandate for action. But if you come to know that you are Brahman, they end there. They have no scope there. All the mandates for action have no scope when you know that you are Brahman. In Gita, Sarvam Karma Kilam Partha Jnane Parisamaptati. And Sarvani Cha Itarani Pramanani, the 6 means of knowledge, Pratyaksha, Anuman, Upman, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, and ordinary Shabda Praman, there is no scope there. They end there. Even the scriptures end there. Even the Guru Vakyas end there. If you come to know that your reality is Brahman. Nahi aheya anupadeya advaita atma avagato. How many times the avagati word is been repeated here? Satyam nirvishayani apramatrukani cha pramanani bhavitum arhanti iti. That which is not to be given up, that which is not to be accepted, being your own real nature, such Atman being realized, then no knower has remained, no means of knowledge are necessary. Neither the knower has remained, neither means of knowledge are necessary once you realize your real nature. One small point was raised about Govt and knowledge. So Shankar is quoting from some ancient scriptures. People have found it out. Sundara Pandey Karika was some scripture before Shankaracharya. And Shankaracharya is quoting from that to show that this Govt is a separate thing. Apicha ahu, Gauna mithyatmana asatve putra deha adi badanat sad brahma atma ahamiti evam bodhe karyam katham bhavet anveshtavya atma vigyanat prak pramatrutvam atmana anvishta syat pramata eva papma dosha adi varjita deha atma pratyaya yadvat pramanattvena kalpita laukikam tadvat eva idam pramanam tu atma nishchayat. Atma nishchayat. That means I know that I am Atman. It has become my firm. I firmly know it. Then no consciousness remains about the body, etc. Putra deha adi. Not about the sun, not about the body, not about the indriyas, not about the mind. They are the badhanat. That I am that is cut away. Neither Govt nor Mithya. Govt is when two things are known separately, but all these are not there. So no knowing separately. And Mithya is so long as I am seeing that, it is called Mithya. But if that is gone, tad Sad Brahma Atma Aham iti evam bodhe. So in the bodh, consciousness that the Sad Brahma is my real nature, then karyam katham bhavet. How there is a chance of any subject-object action? Anveshtavya Atma Vijnanat Prak Pramatritvam Atmana. Atma becomes knower so long as he has not realized his own real nature. So, Atman appears to be the knower, Anveshtavyam Atma Vijnanat Prak. So long as he has not searched out the Atma Vijnan. Anvishta Syat, once you have found out that your real nature, Pramata eva papma dosha adivarjita. Now that knower is freed from any duality. So, where is the Pramata now? He is Brahman only. Deha Atma Pratyaya Yadvat Pramanatvena Kalpita. That body is Atman, is imagined by the lower means of knowledge. Laukikam Tadvat Eva Idam Pramanam tu A Atma Nishya. So, all these means of relative knowledge are valid so long as Atman is not realized. So the means of knowledge also are valid so long as they are not realized Atman. So this is the summary like whole thing by Sundar Pandey. Let me take, today we started late, but let me take this opportunity to summarize whole Brahma-Sutra for you. We may go 5-10 minutes late today, please, because we started late. Shankara began by telling us that consciousness has nothing to do with matter. And yet, our every behavior and thought depends upon superimposing characteristics of matter and matter itself on Atman, and superimposing characteristics of Atman on matter. This cannot have happened unless our knowledge was wrong or false. And if it depends upon wrong or false knowledge, the only way which it can go is by right knowledge. It is evident. And also, all the problems of our life are due to our basic knowledge is wrong. Our basic knowledge is false. That has given rise to all the problems in our life. So if you want to be free from problems of life, if you want your behavior to be right, if you want fulfillment of life, then you must cultivate real knowledge. You must turn to the Upanishads. And you have to be fit for that. And you have not to think that karma kanda will give me something. And you have to have a desire. Till you realize Brahman, you will not stop. So that was Athato Brahma Jigyasa. And then what is this Brahman? In the second sutra, he said, from known to unknown. Go from known to unknown. You know this world. Think of what is the cause of creation, preservation, and destruction of this world. That will lead you to Brahman. And third sutra had two meanings, that Brahman is Sarvagya, Sarvashaktiman, because it has created the Shastras. The other meaning was that it is through Shastras only that we will know Brahman. Now, Shastras are telling only do karma. Or in Shastras, so many contradictory things appear. So the fourth sutra came, Tattu Samandvayat, and that had the longest comment. We have understood it in two ways. Firstly, find out the meaning of the Shastras in such a way that nothing is contradictory. And there I told you, take it the most general way. Those who say Shankara's teaching is different and Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda's teaching is different, have neither understood Shankar nor Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda. When we find that, no, I did not feel any contradiction because I got right teaching for my Guru. Never I felt any contradiction, not even for a single moment. So, that is Samandvayat. So, reading of the scriptures is in such a way. And then second point is that everything in the scripture is valid. Karma Kanda is valid for the persons who have no capacity to rise. They must do good work that will purify them, that will give them good results. And mental work also is necessary for those people who have not concentrated mind. So, both these things are valid in their own places. Second point was that every sentence of the Vedanta is valid in its own place, and it is indicating that further when you go in this way, you will have the fulfillment of life. And that was in the fourth sutra, details thrashed out. So, Maharaj, you please take over. Maharaj is there? Yes. Maharaj, you please conclude now.
So we are so thankful to you, Maharaj, for the series. One more. So we have Prasthana Traya, we have Shruti Prasthana, Upanishad, Smriti Prasthana, Bhagavad Gita, and Nyaya Prasthana, Brahma-Sutra. Some glimpses we have had. Now we will once again go to Shruti Prasthana, the Upanishad. We will start with Mundaka Upanishad, Shankara's Bhashya. Swami Vivekananda is very fond of this Upanishad. He used to quote, for example, this Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vriksham Parishasvajate Tayoranya Pippalam Swadvati Anashnanandan Abhijagashiti Natatra Suryo Bhatina Chandra Tarakam Nema Vidyuto Bhantikuto Yamagni Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. Swami Vivekananda said, what grand poetry. Upanishads are the sublime poetry, he said. So, we are Pitambarananda Maharaj will start with the Mundaka Upanishad from next Wednesday, which is 9th March, during same time, 5:30 to 6:30. The link also has been shared with everybody. It is also on our website. All of you can follow the beautiful translation in Hindi in the Gita Press. And Swami Gambhiranji also has a wonderful English translation with the original mantra, but Gambhiranji does not do the original Shankara Bhashya. So you can follow the original Shankara Bhashya from Gita Press and the translation, either Gambhiranji in English or the Gita Press in Hindi. And Maharaj's language is so, Pitambaranji language is so simple, straightforward, and with so many interesting anecdotes, etc. So we have learned so much, and the virtual satsanga which he has given us, because online satsanga, tat kathanam, tat chintanam, anyonyam tat prabodhanam, Brahmabhyasam vidurubutha. It's called Brahmabhyasa, constantly talking about Brahman, thinking about Brahman, contemplating Brahman, and talking to one another about Brahman. This is a constant exercise. So we are thankful to him. So all of you join the Mundaka Upanishad class from next week. Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj.
Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam सूत्र भाष्य कृतो वंदे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्ति भेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।